I'm on. Is this bitch recording? Oh my god, there's a bug. I'm already regretting this decision to be outside. Okay. I turned up the gain on the microphone. I need to remember to turn it down. But Hi everyone. Guys. We made it. We freaking made it. It's spring. Thanks for watching. Goodbye. Okay. So anyways, today I'm talking about the season of spring because I do love it that much. Now, listen, I love a lot of things. I do. But sometimes when things get so underappreciated, I feel the need to make it known that, spring is the best season, in my opinion. You're allowed to like other seasons, because everyone's allowed to have their own opinion. But just know that you are wrong if your favorite season isn't spring. Unless if you live in like the southern hemisphere, which y'all got something else going on that I don't understand, and that's okay. There was a bird over there, that's why I got scared. You're gonna see a lot of bugs fly throughout this video, so just ignore it, please, because I'm doing something nice for you. I let you guys come to my house and we had fun. Don't make me drink alone. So anyways, today I'm talking about the lovely season of spring and why y'all are some haters, basically. Actually, you're not haters. You just need to have your third eye opened. That's what I'm here to do. So let's talk about it. So first of all, let's talk about all the seasons, okay? Winter.
Why men don't sit on Santa's lap, but you get Christmas gifts though?
Winter begins at the end of December. Remember that. Because winter gets a lot of PR from several holidays and the entire month of December. But remember, winter begins at like the last 10 days of December. And winter gets a lot of good PR from Christmas. But we'll go back to that later, okay? And then winter starts at the end of December, goes till, I would say, mid to late March. Like around March 20th. I'm uploading this the day that it becomes spring if I can get my shit together. So then spring is around end of March, unless if the groundhog decides otherwise. But this year, he obviously didn't. The end of March till around the end of June. Wait. I'm gonna look this up. I have my computer over here. By the way, this setup is so hokey pokey. Like, y'all don't understand what I'm going through. Literally, if one thing goes wrong, it's all over. Okay. Yeah, I was right. So spring lasts until like near the end of June, June 20th. Summer starts at the end of June, lasts till pretty much the end of September. And then fall. September till the end of the end of whatever. You fill in the blanks. I can't. I'm supposed to be happy because this is my season, but it's just a lot going on. So let's talk about winter. Winter gets a lot of PR through the month of December because of Christmas. Sure, Christmas is nice. Christmas is fun. The New Year can be fun. New Year's resolutions, that's a whole other conversation. But guess what? Guess what else winter has? January and February. I'm sorry to the lovers of those seasons, but that is a breeding ground for, stunts, shows, shenanigans, and dark-sided stuff. Like, those 2 months are so dark-sided. Like, genuinely, it's really, really, like, scary, I've lost a lot of good things to January and February. I mean, let's talk about it. Winter depression. Seasonal depression. Happened during when? Winter. Yeah. But winter isn't all bad because, hey, it does cool down, and I think it is much easier to warm up than it is to cool down. Okay. It is so much easier to, bundle up, as long as you have something to bundle up with. And then if you get a little too warm, just step outside, cool down, you're fine. When it gets too hot, if you're not on top of that AC, it's game over. Because guess what? You have nowhere to run and nowhere to hide. Yeah. Yeah. So the next season I want to talk about is the fall. I feel like the summer also gets a lot of good PR, but also the fall does as well. Once again, fall is relying on like 2 to 3 weeks of the 3-month long season of fall. Because guess what? Yes, the leaves do get beautiful when they change, and the weather does become nice for 5 minutes. And then guess what? It either stays too hot for too long or it gets too cold. And it also has Halloween, which, people seem to like Halloween for some reason, and Thanksgiving, which, people seem to tolerate that for some reason. But, I love to eat. But hey, we do get Thanksgiving break. Okay. Also, going back to winter for a second, we do get winter break, which that also is some nice PR for that. If you're in school. I do dog on winter a lot, but when you're an adult, that's like the one time of the year where you are almost guaranteed to have some sort of time off for like at least a day or two. So, you know what? I could never give you a 10, but you can have that little one. Yeah. Guys, I'm so nice. I think people forget all the time how nice I am. I am a sweetheart. Okay, so that's... The air conditioning that's like right over there also agrees with me that I am a sweetheart. Yeah. So if you disagree, I think you just have evil, nasty spirit, which, makes sense with what a lot of you have going on, in the real world. You guys are really you guys just don't have it together, and you guys are kind of evil, and you guys have, nasty attitudes. But hey, it's okay. You can always change and get better. Me, on the other hand, I don't know how you can improve on perfection, but you know me, I'm always going to try. So, yeah. What was I even talking about? So the fall benefits a lot from the PR, Christian Girl Autumn. Yes. And for when it is Christian Girl Autumn, that's very nice. Guess what? For the people in school, that's when you got to go back to school around. Or at the very least, the first little bit of school. So, it's kind of hard. Because, education is important, but the school systems in the United States, there's something going on there. Fall has some good qualities, but also fall is not perfect. Fall does tend to have some of its PR taken away by winter. So my heart goes out to fall. Shout out to fall. I see you in the chat, You've had a rough go around, and I don't really like you that much, but you have been done a little bit dirty, so I'm sorry. Now let's get to summer.
They live as fuck at the McDonald's.
Now, listen, let's keep it a buck. If your favorite season is summer, you're childish. Okay. Sorry. If you're an adult, what is there to do during summer? Work? Ooh, fun. The hot climate is fun when you have somewhere to swim, or if it's just like for a few days. On week 3, week 4, week 5 of hot weather, it gets old. It gets real old. Just like some of y'all in the face. It gets old. But I understand why, somebody who is childish, summer would be your favorite season, because you get summer vacation. I totally get it if you're childish or a child. There's nothing wrong with that. People say that we need to connect with our inner child. So maybe summer should be my favorite season, but, I would need a therapist. But anyway, yeah, summer, she, gets a lot of PR for summer vacation. But guess what? Also, the song of the summer, we're starting to lose that because summer is starting to lose its PR. Summer is starting to, lose its sauce, lose its swag. Some people are starting to wake up. The third eyes are starting to open, and people are realizing that summer is not all that. It's cool when you're a kid, you get summer vacation. But once you, become an adult, what is there to celebrate? Yeah. There's Pride Month. But guess what? Pride Month is mostly in spring. Yeah. I'm waking that up. Because guess what? Spring is Pride Month. The majority of Pride Month is in what? Spring. Sure, summer has the last 10 or 9 days. You know what? You can have that. Because guess what? We got the majority. Majority rules. We don't live in a democracy, but, when it comes to spring, the majority rules, and spring is Pride Month. So, yeah. Let me tell you why spring also is so great. Guess what? It's the first season after winter. And guess what? That's something to celebrate. Because if you survived the winter, you survived seasonal depression. At the end of winter is daylight savings, when we jump ahead an hour. And at first that's kind of hard because you lose an hour. But guess what? The end of winter, you get to adjust to that, so that by the time it's spring, you're like, okay, I'm back to normal again. And now I get to enjoy the sun being out for longer. Because guess what? It's almost 5 p.m. right now. If this was the dead of winter, it'd be nighttime. You'd be looking at the stars. So yeah, let's start there. Let's start at the beginning of spring. You have survived seasonal depression, and that is something to celebrate. Yes, it is. Let's talk about it, because seasonal depression, as much as we try to fight it, it's so hard when there's no sunshine, there's no vitamin C, there's no vitamin D. How can you touch grass when there's no sun? Part of the reason why some of the heated rivalry discourse is so bad is because it happened during the winter. Nobody could touch grass. Also, people don't know how to react to gay people in shows. But hey, that's for another video. Ow. I scratched myself a little bit too hard. I need to cut my nails. But yeah, spring has absolutely the best weather. You get the variety. You get sunny. You get cloudy. You get rainy. You get windy. You get it all. You get it all. Okay. Guess what? If sunny isn't your flavor, the rain will come. If rain isn't your flavor, the sun will come back out. April showers bring May flowers. Oh, right. Yeah. And guess what? When you're in school, by spring, you've got it together. If you don't have it together, you see the end goal in sight. You're building up. Spring just gets better the longer you go throughout the season. That's why I love spring. Part of it, at least. Because it gets better and better and better. Because guess what? The days, they get longer. Because when summer begins, that's the longest day of the year. Then the days start to get shorter. Spring, you get longer. We're going up. We're going up. It's our moment. Shout out to Golden, which just won an Oscar, by the way, the song. I didn't watch the Oscars, actually. I just heard about it. I'm a fake-ho, so. But, a lot of you guys are fakers, so I think you guys should forgive me. But, anyways. Spring. Yeah. What else is there to say? Spring also has spring cleaning. Spring is a chance for renewal. And, spring cleaning can be metaphorical, like, cleaning out the negativity out of your life. Or it can be physical, cleaning your dirty ass room. Spring cleaning can be anything. There's not summer cleaning. There's not fall cleaning. There's not winter cleaning. Not in the way that there is spring cleaning. And guess what else happens in spring? The flowers bloom. The trees regrow their leaves. It gets beautiful. In every single way. It's not all about looks, okay? Listen, it's okay. It's not all about looks. And fall does give spring a run for its money, but only for this much amount of time. Maybe fall does outpeak, spring on the Hot 100, but guess who has the dominant chart performance? Let me ask the audience. Because guess what? It's about longevity. It's about quality. It's about, consistency. Consistency wins the pageant. You're only as good as your last performance. Second place is the first to lose. Let's talk about it. Fall. What's it feel like to be runner-up?
What the hell are you talking about?
Well, actually, runner-up is actually, I don't know. I don't know about runner-up for fall. Maybe like third place. I don't know. Listen, you guys can rank the other seasons however you may feel. I don't really care. What I do know, though, is that spring is number one. And that's all that matters. If you're not in first place, you're last. So it doesn't really matter to me. Yes, I'm drinking iced coffee at 5 p.m. Don't worry about it. I need you to not worry about it. Also, let me bring back up the point of the majority of Pride Month being in, spring. Would it be that crazy to say that you're homophobic if you don't like spring? Not really, I think. Once you really get down to the nitty gritty of it all, it's actually quite, distasteful to diss on spring, especially in the context of, Pride Month. I know, shout out to the looks maxers, happy Pride Month. I know I'm going to be spring maxing this spring because it's my season. Bless me. Thank you. Okay. Now that I've actually done that, that's actually perfect because listen, as much as spring is my fave, there is room for critique. Everyone could be critiqued. You can try for me, but I don't know how successful you'll be with, finding something about me that's like a flaw. But, most things in life can be critiqued. So let's talk about a common complaint for spring. And that is the allergies, the pollen. I understand. I'm listening. I'm learning. I have a peanut allergy. So I totally get the struggle of what you guys are facing. But also, we do have, allergy medicine and allergy shots too, which I learned last year. I don't really want to completely say like grow up if you are saying that spring is bad because of the allergies, but I do think there should be, a deeper reflection within yourself if, you don't like spring because of the allergies. Because guess what? All good things come at a cost. That's just the truth. All good things come at a cost. And guess what? Spring, you're probably going to be sneezing a little bit. And guess what we get in return? A beautiful season. The best season. The best season. They probably call TV shows, they probably organize it in seasons because of spring. Spring, in my opinion, aligns the most with like a TV show season because it goes through the most change and, there's the most stuff going on. There's the most like journeys traveled in spring. Summer is, same old for the most part. Winter, same old for the most part. Fall, we get a little bit, I'd say, difference, but not like the way spring does, And I know you may be thinking to yourself, this is all subjective to where I live. And to that I say, and what about it? What about it? You're mad because guess what? I'm still right though. Spring is the best season, spiritually. And, I hear a lot of your guys' third eyes like trying to open. And so if you're still on the fence, just accept that spring is the best season. It's okay. It's okay to, bow down to the queen.
Bow, just like
it's
that.
okay to bow down.
Just like that.
Because, spring is, better than your faves and, completely outsold the rest of the seasons. She's pushing the most units. She's RIAA certified, platinum, diamond even. You guys are struggling to get gold. Spring, she has plaques. She has certificates. She has the numbers, she has the impact, and she has the talent at the end of the day. It's not payola. And if anything, summer has the most payola. Summer, then winter. Fall, I respect. I respect fall because, the payola, it's a little bit less. They're not exaggerating the features. They're just exaggerating how long these features actually last, you know? But there is still payola there. Spring doesn't get any payola. None. But guess what? Her talent outshines the rest. So, you know, I suggest that you guys recognize that, or else you're gonna get left behind. Yeah. Okay. But anyways, you know, this has been really fun, you know, being right. It's actually so fun to, you know, talk and be right about everything. But, you know, if I'm being real, I'm not right about everything, but I could really keep going. Like, I have no notes this time because this is off the dome. This is literally me just talking about, I love spring. And, you know, I'm trying to get more content more consistently out. So, you know, I hope I'm able to get this out in time for spring. If I do, then, you know, drop a like. If not, then write me a hate comment. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed my video, and I hope you have gained some perspective about the amazing season that is spring. And, you know, I am right, and you have the opportunity to be right with me. You have the opportunity to also be correct with me if you choose to be correct. I'm nice like that. Anyways, I don't have anything else to say because I said it all. Enjoy spring. I know I will. And, you know, make sure to wear sunscreen if the UV is higher than 3. Okay, I have nothing else to say. Wait, let me do a thumbnail. My egg yo. Guys, do you think they'd let me be the first white and fat K-pop idol? Let me know, cause I have the egg yo down. Okay, well, I hope you had fun with this video, and, you know, have a great spring. Anyways, goodbye.